As the first light reaches the South American grasslands, a bonded pair of Rufous Horneros begins another breeding season. Unlike many bird species, both partners share the responsibility of defending their territory.
Choosing the right location is a decision that cannot be rushed. The nest must withstand weeks of changing weather while protecting eggs and chicks from the many challenges ahead. Construction begins with mud. Each trip carries only a tiny amount, but through hundreds of journeys, these small loads will gradually become...
There is no blueprint and no machinery. Working only with their bills, the pair carefully shapes each layer.
Day after day, fresh mud is added to the growing walls. As each layer dries beneath the sun, the structure...
The curved entrance is no accident. Its unique design helps reduce wind and rain entering the nesting chamber.
Even after the outer surface begins to dry, construction continues. New layers reinforce the walls,
After many days of steady work, the nest is almost complete. Inside, the chamber is prepared with soft cushions. As evening settles across the grasslands, the builders pause beside their finished masterpiece. Soon this carefully... At last, the first eggs appear. From this moment forward, every decision the pair makes revolves around protecting.
Incubation is a shared responsibility. The pair carefully exchanges duties, ensuring the eggs remain warm almost every moment of the day and night.
While one parent incubates, the other must replenish its own energy. Every successful meal helps sustain. Their exchanges are remarkably efficient. The eggs remain exposed for only a few moments before another warm body settles gently above them. From time to time, each egg is gently turned. This simple behavior helps ensure the developing embryos grow evenly within their shells.
Weather now becomes another challenge. Rain sweeps across the grasslands, yet the thick mud walls continue to shield the precious clutch from the changing conditions outside.
Incubation does not end the need for vigilance. Every unfamiliar sound is investigated, because even a brief moment of carelessness could place the eggs at risk. Long periods of stillness define this stage of the breeding cycle. Beneath the parent's feathers, invisible changes continue as knitting. After days of careful incubation, the first signs of life finally appear. A tiny crack in the shell signals that one of the lids. The first chick emerges exhausted and nearly featherless. Blind, helpless, and completely dependent, it enters a world where survival. One by one, the remaining eggs begin to hatch. Although they emerge only hours apart, each chick enters the world
barely able to move. The hatchlings cannot regulate their own body temperature. For now, the parent's body is their only shelter against the outside world.
Feeding begins immediately. Every insect collected is packed with the protein needed to fuel the astonishing pace of growth that will soon transform these fragile hatchlings. Even before their eyes open, the chicks know exactly what to do. The slightest vibration at the nest entrance triggers. The parents feed each chick in turn, carefully distributing every meal. Even tiny differences in nourishment. Within only a few days, the first feathers begin to appear. What started as fragile pink hatchlings is slowly becoming recognizable as young birds.
The rhythm of family life is now firmly established. Every successful hunting trip brings the young birds growth now accelerates rapidly. Every meal is transformed into feathers, stronger muscles, and the energy needed for the demanding weeks still ahead.
Keeping the nest clean is just as important as feeding the young. By removing waste after every meal, the parents refits. Hunting never truly stops. From dawn until dusk, both adults patrol the grassland, gathering a steady teamwork reaches its peak during this stage. The adults often return almost together, allowing every hungry chick to receive food before the next hunting trip begins. Their wings are still far too weak for flight, yet instinct encourages constant practice. Every small movement.
Danger is never far away. Even a distant raptor is enough to halt all activity until the threat has safely passed.
Day by day, the nestlings begin to resemble miniature versions of their parents. Their insulating feathers now offer greater protection.
Curiosity begins to overcome caution. For the first time, one young bird catches a glimpse of the vast world waiting beyond the safety of its mud home.
The nest is becoming increasingly crowded. Before long, the growing family will face its greatest challenge yet. The nest has become too small for its growing occupants. Beyond the narrow entrance lies an unfamiliar world.
Curiosity finally overcomes hesitation. For the first time, one fledgling leaves the shelter of the nesting.
The parents no longer bring every meal directly inside. By waiting just beyond the entrance, they encourage their young to venture farther with every feeding opportunity. It is neither graceful nor effortless. The fledgling's first flight lasts only a few seconds, but it marks one of the most important moments of its entire life.
Confidence spreads quickly through the family. One by one, each young bird finds the courage to follow. Although they have left the nest, the young birds remain completely dependent on their parents. Lessons in survival have only just begun.
Hunting is a skill that cannot be inherited overnight. Like every young predator, the fledgling must learn through repeated mistakes before experience replaces instinct. Persistence is rewarded. The first successful catch may seem insignificant, yet it represents the beginning of true independence.
The family remains together for a little longer. Each passing day, the young birds become stronger, relying less on their parents and more on their own growing abilities.
The breeding season is drawing to a close. What began as 4 fragile eggs inside a chamber of mud
Experience grows with every successful hunt. Skills that once depended entirely on instinct are now refined through constant repetition in the open grassland.
The parents intervene less often now. Their role is changing from constant providers. The family still travels together, but each day the distance between parent and offspring becomes a little greater.
Flight is no longer an uncertain experiment. Stronger wings now carry the young bird farther.
The nest has fulfilled its purpose. Once a place of shelter and warmth, it now stands quietly as a lasting. The young birds are beginning to rely on themselves. Separation starts slowly, with each individual spending longer days. For the first time, one fledgling spends a quiet moment completely alone. It is a small step, yet one that might. The breeding season has transformed 2 devoted parents into the founders of a new generation. Their investment of time and
The family has begun to drift apart. The young birds now spend most of their time exploring on their own, while the
Built one beakful of mud at a time, the nest remains standing long after its purpose has been fulfilled.
independence arrives gradually. Each successful hunt, every confident flight, and each day spent alone prepares the young birds for the challenges of adulthood.
Before long, attention begins to shift toward the future. The same instincts that guided this successful season
Every nest represents more than a family. Together, they weave an unbroken chain stretching across landscape.
As daylight fades, the season comes to an end. From 4 fragile eggs to 4 independent young birds,